Hello everybody, this is Dee and welcome to my channel, Dee versus Retirement. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can tell, we are not face to face. We are staring at my computer screen and I have a spreadsheet loaded here for you to look at with me. Want to start out by saying I am not a financial advisor. I would not advise you to do what I do. As a matter of fact, it probably goes against what a lot of financial advisors talk about, but it is a perfect plan for me and my life and how I want to live. I often get asked what I mean when I say I'm front loading my retirement. I'm not really sure if this is a technical term, but it is the one that I use to describe the fact that I am taking more income from my investments in my younger years than I will as I age. Most people do not need as much money later in life as they do earlier. Additionally, most people do not have enough investments to give them a comfortable income stream and preserve all of their principal. I am one of those people in that group, but I am comfortable spending into my principal. I can greatly increase the quality of my life, especially now when I'm still active and capable of doing things that cost more, things like travel, group activities, home projects, etc. I want to say that this is not my actual spreadsheet. I did not figure my front-loaded amounts using a spreadsheet like this because I didn't do it at a withdrawal rate. But I find this to be the simplest way to explain or show you what I'm talking about when I talk about front-loading my budget. A safe withdrawal rate is one in which is used that will preserve your principal. For most people or advisors, they use a number of 4%. However, that is changing. Many use a different number now. And the basic idea is if you have a 4% withdrawal rate, but you have a 5% investment, then you're going to be taking out less than what you make. One of the things I did for the purpose of my spreadsheet, and I did it here in a different way, but I did it, was two things. First off, I took my Social Security. This is not my number, but I took my Social Security number and I reflected that out over the next 30 years and with the average COLA increases. And then I also did what I call, or what is called, a four walls budget. A four walls budget is an absolute no frills budget. It includes a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your tummies, transportation, and medical. There is no eating out. There's no movies in this budget. There's no buying presents for their grandchildren. This is just what you need to survive. I use this because I want to make sure that no matter what I do in terms of taking my money out, that at the end of the 30 years, inflation adjusted four walls budget is going to be covered by the money that I have left. And you'll see where that comes into play here in just a minute. As I said, my actual spreadsheet is far more complicated than this. I have my investments separated within their buckets, and I also am doing mine in more of a tier rather than lessen my money a little bit every year. I'm doing it kind of in a step-down approach, but this, again, is a great example of what I mean when I say front-loading my retirement. All right, let's start by looking at the 4% safe withdrawal rate. What I did was I took the starting number that I was going to have for this purposes. I used 300% or 300,000, and this person had a Social Security income of 25,000. I know that you don't get Social Security at 60, but I just wanted to demonstrate 30 years, 60 to 90 was easier. You would also do any like pensions or annuities that you had in this same way. This number is here so that you can add it to the withdrawal out of your investments, which will equal your total income, because Social Security, hopefully Social Security is not your only form of income stream. I know for many of it is, and I am really sorry that you're having to deal with that. But for most, or for the purposes of a person trying to front load their retirement, they obviously have some investments, and so their investments will not be their only income stream. What I want you to notice in this example is that at the end of each year, you're taking out money at the safe rate of 4%, but your principal is actually growing every year. So as you can see, each year your income is going up a little bit more. This helps to offset inflation, and it also grows your retirement amount. So at the end of 30 years, you have $408,000. You started with $300,000, you have $408,000. That is your safe withdrawal. A different scenario, the one that I chose, was to exceed that safe withdrawal amount. So you will notice here that I am taking out more than what I'm earning on my principal. So I'm taking out $24,000 and I'm reducing my principal by $9,000 because I'm taking out more than what it's earning. So each year, if you look over here at the total income, each year my income is going down a little bit. Again, this is not my income, but my income is going down a little bit every year just like this, but this is not my actual income. So you will see each year you have a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. And at the end of 30 years, you still have $116,000 left. And more importantly, over here is the four walls budget, and you can see that that number exceeds the amount that you're going to be withdrawing even in those later years. So your basic or my basic needs would be covered. Now, I don't know about you, but if you look here at the end of 20 years, I still have $158,000 left. One of the things that I think about when I do this is I am probably going to have some large expenditures, maybe a new house or a new car or something like that. However, if you're comfortable with having less money left, you could come up here and you could just change this number to 10%. And then bring that formula down. And then at the end of 30 years, you would have $61,000 left. Again, this is just an example. The key takeaway here is that you have more income in your early years of retirement, and that is what is important to me. I personally think that the 4% withdrawal strategy is not for me. In my mind, I do not have to make money in order to beat the probability of outliving my savings. This is what happens with the 4% withdrawal rate. I just need to have some money left at the end of my life. The odds of a person who retires in their 60s outliving a 30-year plan is very low. So why do I need to have my entire portfolio left when I die? The answer is, I don't. Now, I will admit, leaving a legacy is not a priority for me. I raise children capable of taking care of themselves. They do not need my money. If I die younger and they get it, yay, but I'm not willing to live a life where I deprive myself of doing the things that I want to do just to leave them money. More importantly, they would not want that either. I'm not saying that this strategy is for everyone, but it is for me. I think most of us are going to have to accept that we will have to spend into our principal. Having a plan as to how you want to do this will make your retirement income stream a plan and not a reaction. I am comfortable balancing building my memories and not my savings in these last years of my life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you on the next one. And until then, bye.